Props and Locks on Fox 10 is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Hey, welcome into Props and Locks presented by FanDuel. I'm Sierra Santos. What better way to ring in the new year than with a glass of bubbly, Vouv to be particular, and a single game parlay. Now, tonight, we're getting you prepped for this weekend's slate of NFL games. So let's bring in our betting bestie, Ben Stevens, host of the Morning After on Sports Grid. And Ben, the Cardinals punched their ticket to the postseason thanks to some help from the Vikings, but they need to pick up some momentum in the final two games of the regular season. On Sunday, the Cards are in Dallas to take on a surging Cowboys team at Jerry World. Two teams trending in opposite directions. The Cards are on a 3-game skid. 6-point underdogs that actually decreased by a half a point. Dallas, on the other hand, is on a 4-game winning streak and minus 240 the last time I checked on the money line, but it's always changing.
Absolutely so, Sierra. Not only have the Cowboys won 4 straight, they have covered in 4 straight, and Dallas owns the best ATS record in all of the National Football League. The Cowboys 12-3 against the number this year. But Sierra, you know this very well. Arizona is great at 2 things: playing football on the road. We don't need to mention what happened a couple of weekends ago in the Motor City, but playing football on the road and as an underdog. The Cardinals a perfect 5-0 against the number and straight up when booked as an underdog this year. They have covered by an average margin as an underdog of nearly 22 points per game because Arizona has won every game outright when booked as an underdog this season. You're a Vouv person? I'm more a Dom P guy myself, by the way.
Oh, you're fancy, huh? All right, Sunday night, bundle up. It's going to be miserable at Lambeau Field with the Packers hosting the Vikings. Temps at kickoff could be in the single digits. Wind chills could be as low as negative 15. So Green Bay is one of the best teams against the spread this season, and they're looking at 6.5-point favorites right now, actually 7.
These lines continue to move, and it makes sense that it works in Green Bay's favor. You say miserable, I say frozen tundra in football weather up there in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Packers are really great against the number. Like you mentioned, they've won 4 straight, 5 of their last 6, but Sierra, they haven't covered in 2 straight. With a win against Minnesota and a loss from Dallas to your Arizona Cardinals, Green Bay wraps up the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. I think Green Bay does their part. I just don't know if they can cover a full 7-point spread.
I still wouldn't want to be at that game. All right, it's never too early, or I guess in this situation late, to look ahead, and the Packers are the heavy favorites to win the NFC. They're at plus 195. The Rams and Cowboys both sitting at plus 490. And the odds for the Cardinals not looking as hot as they once were. They are plus 1,000. Where would you put your money here?
If you're looking for value in this spot, everything outside of the Packers tends to make sense, right? Because when you're the favorite, everything behind you has value. And the Packers a shorter number by more than $1 ahead of the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's important is that if Green Bay is the number 1 overall seed, they'll get the only bye in that conference and home field advantage throughout. And we talked about the frozen tundra. It would be difficult for a team like Los Angeles to go there. But if you're looking for value, that plus 490 price on the LA Rams with how good football they're playing right now, that would be where I spot the value.
Yeah, I'm a Lambeau leap right out of there. All right, one of the most important games of the week takes place on Monday Night Football. The Browns and Steelers sit at 3rd and 4th in the AFC North. So Cleveland quarterback Baker Mayfield struggled last week. 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. How are you seeing this game panning out?
Yeah, Cleveland has really shot themselves in the foot. 2 weeks ago, even shorthanded, had they won that game on that Monday night rescheduling against the Las Vegas Raiders, they would have been in pole position in this AFC North and in this divisional matchup against the Steelers. But Sierra, we got some news on Thursday afternoon that Big Ben anticipates this being his final game in Heinz Field. He is flying out all of his family. I'm sure there will be that ceremonial type feel on Monday. You see that plus 150 on the Steelers as the home underdog inside Heinz Field on Monday night. That certainly grabs my attention.
It's going to be an emotional game, but certainly not one that he's going to want to lose in front of all of his friends and family. All right, we're taking a trip around week 17 of the NFL, plus getting the odds for your New Year's Day bowl games. And Ben's best bets of the week are still to come. We're back after a quick timeout.
Welcome back to Props and Locks, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Welcome back into Props and Locks. And before you uncork your champagne and bust out those little party hats, let's make sure you get in your best bets before things get a little bit out of control. So let's bring back in our betting bestie, Ben Stevens. And Ben, we're talking about the Rams and Ravens, the leaders in the NFC West. The Los Angeles Rams are in Baltimore. The Ravens fighting the AFC North or for a wild card spot. The biggest question for Baltimore heading into Sunday is who's going to be under center. That's a major reason why they are now 4.5-point underdogs at home.
Yeah, that's the biggest question, Sierra. That line has moved in LA's favor already by 2 points. Will it be Lamar Jackson? Well, he practiced on Wednesday afternoon, but was not there for practice on Thursday. A pretty strong indication it's probably not Lamar. So then is it Tyler Huntley, who was on the COVID-19 list last week? We'll wait and see, but that's why the line has worked in the Rams' favor. They can do a lot for their postseason bids of wrapping up the NFC West with a win over the Baltimore Ravens on the road on Sunday.
Let's go to the Bay Area. A battle of rookie quarterbacks, the Texans at 49ers. The Niners are clinging on to one of the last remaining wild card spots. And the Texans, hey, they're fresh off a Chargers upset. Apparently, that doesn't matter, though. San Fran, huge favorites by 12.5.
They were bigger favorites, but then some of the quarterback concerns for San Francisco as well. Will Jimmy G go with now that injured right thumb on his throwing hand, or will it be the rookie quarterback Trey Lance? The line opened up in the Niners' favor at 15.5 points. Now just 12.5. The Texans have been an underdog in all but one game this year, and Sierra, they're really good against the number. 7-7 ATS, including an outright winner in a couple of their games as a double-digit dog, like last week against Los Angeles.
All right, so in our own backyard, the Fiesta Bowl, it's going down tomorrow afternoon at State Farm Stadium. Oklahoma State and Notre Dame. What bets do you like here, Ben? Because this is essentially a pick 'em, right?
It's a very, very short spread in Notre Dame's favor. When you look at bowl games, as we have often said, you need to take motivation into your handicapping. For this one, it seems pretty simple. Oklahoma State was inches and seconds away from a trip to the college football playoff. They squandered that opportunity. They're still probably hanging their heads about that. Notre Dame has rallied around Marcus Freeman, the new head coach who the players campaigned for, who stayed as the defensive coordinator. I love the Irish under a field goal. Hammer Notre Dame to get it done in the Fiesta Bowl.
Okay, so as we kiss goodbye to 2021, we're going to say hello to the best locks of the week. Big Ten Ben has them for you after the break.
Welcome back to Props and Locks, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook.
We're back on Props and Locks, and I know there is nowhere else you'd rather be an hour before the stroke of midnight than right here with us. And it's time for my favorite part of the show, Big Ten Ben's best bets of the weeks. And we do have some college locks on the way, but we start in the NFL. You like the Steelers money line, Ben. Tell us why.
Because the Steelers have been great as an underdog all year, Sierra, despite struggling offensively at times. The defense have kept them close, but we talked about it. Motivation here, it's cosmic. This could be Big Ben's last game at Heinz Field as the quarterback of the Steelers organization. You're giving them plus 150 on the money line. I will take that and run to the bank. Tons of plus money value to refill the pockets after the holiday season and get 2022 started on a profitable foot.
It's bowl season, so we're going to talk about the Verbo Citrus Bowl. Is it Verbo? Is it VRBO? Do you know, Ben?
It's the other Airbnb. That's what I call it.
It's Iowa and Kentucky, and you're feeling the over, which is at 44.
A very small total, Sierra. I think that's predicated on both teams having a very good defense. Kentucky is very good, and of course, Iowa plays Big Ten football to a T, establishing the run and relying on that Hawkeyes defense because the offense has been pretty putrid this year. But Kentucky has one of the highest over percentages, top 5, 8 of their 12 games over this year, and Iowa ended the year with 3 straight overs. I think you can take advantage of a small number and push slightly over. It's not going to be a high-scoring affair by any means, but it will go over 44 points.
Okay, so in the Rose Bowl, the number 10 Utes play the 7th-ranked Buckeyes. That's where ASU should have been instead of in the Las Vegas Bowl. But again, the over here, Ben, 64, not too lofty for your liking at all?
Well, here's the thing. This over dropped, right? The total dropped by 3.5 points after we got some of the news about Ohio State's opt-outs. But Ohio State is still loaded offensively, and Utah is so physical up front. We've seen the Buckeyes struggle with that on the other side of the ball. I think we'll see some points in the granddaddy of them all under the San Gabriel Mountains to start off the new year in 2022. Give me the over of that total at 64.
Ben, I have to ask before we go, any New Year's Eve resolutions?
Yeah, to come on Props and Locks every week.
I love it. Mine is to do the splits. All right. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for joining us each and every week throughout the 2021 football season. We will see you again in 2022 on Friday night at 10:45. Until next time, have a safe and happy New Year.